you wanted to pick up on the ice cream at the end of the mall, is it? That you're referred to?
The name of it was Polar Ice Cream.
Polar ice cream.
Yes,
Was it
if you used to deliver to all the shops, and you'd go into the shop, of course, you'd only get a small ice cream. But we'd get a treat, and we'd be taken down to get the big ice cream. And we thought, of course, it was just that you wouldn't believe the size of the ice cream you'd get for 2p.
Was it between two wafers, like a piece of the block?
Two wafers, a huge thing between two wafers.
They would have been a company that distributed ice cream.
Oh, they did to the shops.
And they also sold it themselves from the...
They did. Like they were making it there, and then you could go in and buy your ice cream.
Oh. And you were a very small girl when that was happening. That was, I
was about, I'd have been about 6, 7, that kind of a way, you know.
Was that in the 40s?
In the 40s, yes.
So that would have been...
No, it would be more, like maybe in the 30s.
Good God almighty, the 30s.
And really, I actually thought, even all my friends that I played with, we always thought it was magical. Growing up then, I mean, you had 7 tennis courts along the Bury Manor Road. And in the summer, we played tennis. We went cycling. We'd cycle to Crosshaven, and we'd cycle everywhere. We had a wonderful time. And then you had all, like we had the nurses, the Gresham. Every Tuesday night was the nurses' dance. And then in the Imperial Hotel, every Sunday night, Highfield would have their dances. And then it would come like the dress dances. Then at Christmas, we'd be wondering, will we be asked to go to these dress dances? It was unbelievable.
And they would have been, like musically, this was way before rock and roll or even the big bands. What would we be talking about?
Well, the bands, I mean, we'd be talking about, I'm not...
But certainly be way before the show bands.
Oh, well, we did have the show. Well, I'm later. You're saying we did have the show bands. They were just ordinary bands, you know, that we wouldn't. I remember. You don't remember Rohughes, the Furriers?
I remember 2 Furriers in Cork, Rohughes and Moklers.
Moklers, but Ronnie Rohugh, he had a band, and he used to play in the Arcadia.
The Arcadia goes way back to then, yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, the Arcadia, of course, was, as you know, beautiful dance hall, but we'd only be, we were older if we went there, and we'd only, we'd maybe go with a partner to the Arcadia.
But when you were very small, what was Christmas like there for a child in the 30s?
Christmas now, what we'd get for gifts would be maybe, we'd always get a book. Because my father was an abbot, we would always get a book. And then you might get a dressing gown, slippers. And I mean, we wouldn't be getting rubbish.
Well, it sounds like as if you didn't get any toys.
We did. We got, like, my brothers got train sets.
Oh, right. Now you're talking train sets. And...
Oh, they did. They got train. Oh, they did. And I can remember I got a scooter at one time.
Now you're talking.
And that was, I'll always remember the scooter. When I came down, I was very disappointed because the scooter wasn't there. And I can remember my father saying, I don't know, maybe he left it. Would he leave it in the back? I went out the back, there was no scooter. And he said, well, of course, maybe it was too big to come down the chimney. I wonder where else would he leave it. And I went out the front door and the scooter was outside in the front.
Your dad was playing a game.
Yeah, wasn't he?
And what did your dad and your mum do?
Pardon?
When you were a small child, your dad went out to work?
No, my mum, dad worked, but, women didn't work. So, I mean, even in my day, you had to give up your working.
I know, that was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then, of course, when we were growing up, the boys, all right, would go to college. Well, if they were hoping to get a scholarship first from their leaving, and then they do their matric.
Yeah.
And the girls then would do a secretarial course. But we'd only go as far as intercert.
And when you look back at those days and how different it was, whether you were born a boy or a girl, how does that make you feel now, considering that we're very different now these days?
Well, they're very different. I mean, of course, I like to go with the times, but I think myself that people are not satisfied now, and the more they get, the more they want.
What did your dad do?
Dad was worked on the railway. It was the Great Southern Railway.
Out of Kent Station, was it?
Yes.
Amazing.
And I mean, it's like, and then, of course, we were able to travel. Then, you see, we were able to travel free on the trains, and we'd go here, there, and everywhere. Free
travel because he worked for the Great Western or Great Southern?
The Great Southern Railways.
And the city itself then, you recall it as being a bustling place. I imagine you can probably remember when there was very little motor vehicles and lots of horse and carts and carriages and trams. Were the trams gone?
I could remember travelling on the trams.
Wow. Where did you go?
Well, around the tram, you'd only really go around the city in the trams. But
you could go up to St. Luke's and you could have gone to Black Rock.
That's right, yeah, that's right. But like, if you had to go outside, it was the bus. The bus company then was on the Mall.
Right.
Before it went down to where it is now.
But the tram then would be, that was electric tram, or was it horse-drawn?
Electric tram, yes.
And previous to that, they were horse-drawn.
Well, everything. I mean, it was horse-drawn for quite a long time, as you know.
Yeah.
The grey horses, like that was all. I just remember them, but I, didn't take much notice.
So a visit to the city as a child, then, what would that have been like?
Oh, well, I mean, kind of. I grew up in the old Black Rock Road, and I was quite near the city. Actually, to make, would you believe it that I had tea with De Valera?
Get away. Where?
You see, I was in the Fianna Fáil. I was a member of the Fianna Fáil as a young children. Then the letters were written. They post all their letters now when there's what would you call it? When they hold I can't.
Is it political letters you're talking about, or
yes, and that had to be written. You see, and so we do all the writing of the letters. And this day, De Valera arrived in Cork and came into. We had our place then on Patrick Street, and he came in. There was an election coming on, you see, and he'd visit around, you see, before the election.
Yeah.
And he came in and he chatted in Irish to us. And then when he was finished, we said, like, there was a lady there making tea. She asked him, would he like a cup of tea? And he said, of course. And he sat between me and my friend.
How old are you then?
I am 93.
And when you met Dev?
Oh, I was only about 14 or 15 then.
All right. And what was that chat like?
Well, he spoke in Irish.
Yeah, but you could talk Irish, no doubt.
Of course, I was fluent. Always, but he just said we were marvellous, and to continue being in the Fianna Fáil, as you know.
Yeah.
And all. So.
Did you stay in Fianna Fáil all your life? You did?
Well, I didn't. I didn't. Well, I'm still Fianna Fáil, but I didn't stay. And when you get married, then you see you kind of fall away from things. God,
women had to drop off an awful lot of things when they fell in love, didn't they?
They did, of course, and then I had 6 children, and then you see you have a lot to do. You couldn't be running out every night or every second night.
So you would have been through the Second World War.
Yes.
You would have been through the polio pandemic. You would have been through the TB pandemic. That's God knows how many depressions and unemployment and recessions. And
my first one was the chicken pox.
Chicken pox thrown in for good measure.
And I got an injection for the chicken pox. It was very bad then, as you know.
And how does all of this compare to all of those?
How do you mean now?
Well, this coronavirus, what do you make of it all?
Well, what I think about it actually makes me think of TB. Because you see, the TB was the chest as well, and people I can remember friends of mums, and 2 of her children died. I mean, they were dying off left, right, and they didn't close shops or anything. And then you see, they got a cure for it. I mean, it's still there.
Yeah.
TB, and they got the cure for it. And I mean, look at all the hospitals were packed, and I was there when the diphtheria was raging, which I didn't get.
Diphtheria as well, polio.
That was unbelievable.
Chickenpox.
No, diphtheria.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about all of the things that you went through.
Chickenpox, diphtheria, scarlet fever, scarlatina, polio, TB. I went through the whole lot of it.
And as it was, there would have been a bit of rationing as well during and after the war, wouldn't it?
Right, the ounce of tea and all and I can remember we'd have no gas. As you know, the gas would be cut off, and then some people were lucky; they might have a glitter little light in their gas. And there was a man then would come around, and if he found that you had a glitter in your gas, he'd turn it off.
Why was that? Was it to conserve it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was cut off. We'd only have it on maybe like 2 hours in the morning, and maybe it wouldn't be on at dinner time, because I can remember that we had barbecues then, but the way they ran the barbecues, they bought a big barrel, the oil barrel.
Yes, the drums, the big drums.
The drums, where you'd buy those and you'd pack it up with sawdust.
Right.
And you'd put a hole in the middle of it, and you'd light that, and across the top of it you'd have all these bars, so you'd be like barbecuing your food.
I'd say you had a few bob on the Blackrock Road all the same, though.
We had, of course.
So you described queues that went all the way up along Patrick Street. Would that have been on a Sunday night, going to the pictures?
Sunday night?
Pictures in the Pav, is it?
No, the Savoy.
Savoy.
And the Pav then was lovely. They had a lovely restaurant.
They did, yeah.
And the Savoy had a lovely restaurant. You'd remember the restaurants in the Savoy.
And I vaguely remember at one stage wandering up the stairs of one or the other of them into what, I never got in, there was only a kid at the time, but it was a very swanky restaurant.
Oh, it was, and the Lee was lovely as well.
Did you ever, in your younger days, get into the restaurant in the old Victoria Hotel, I wonder, which was your 5-star linen silver service?
No, I didn't. I was never known the Victoria Hotel.
That was an amazing...
Patrick Street, is it?
That's right. Yeah.
Next to Woolworths.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic.
I'm amazed. I don't mean to sound condescending, but I'm amazed at your power of recall. Your memory's sharp.
Oh, well, I'm still driving. I'm doing all my own housework. I'm living on my own.
Would you drive? What are you driving? A Porsche 911? What do you drive?
No, a Rover.
A big old Rover?
I know, it is the Rover 25.
Not a bother to you?
Not a bother at all. I mean, you just get on with life. I mean, life is what you make it, and never think of your age. I think some people make themselves old.
I'm listening. Why? Because they worry about every cough or sniffle, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I was listening there the other day now, and I heard a woman saying like that she was 70. Sure, 70 is. I mean, I was travelling around the world at 70, because my family, I mean, I kind of travelled a lot. I was in, like, Johannesburg, I was in Rome, I was in the Bahamas, I was in, all different places, and I was doing that in my 80s.
And now at 93, there's still a lot of mileage left on the clock.
Yes, but I wouldn't do any more long haul now. I'd only well, we can't go anywhere anyway. No,
I know. And how have you coped over the last 9 months or so?
No, I didn't mind it at all. I just coped. I mean, it didn't bother me. I kind of keep myself busy.
And Christmas? Will you have family, or what will happen?
Oh, I will. I'll go to one of my daughters. They're 4 away. They're 2 here. And I'll go to one of my daughters, all right, for Christmas.
So you must have daughters in their 70s, do you?
I have a daughter, she's 60. My eldest is 64.
Fair play.
And they're all very good. And I said, and then my husband died when they were young, and I reared them all.
Go away.
And I just got on with it.
How young was he when he passed away?
In his 50s.
Crikey. And do you recall your wedding? Where'd you get married?
Victoria, the Metropole.
Everybody got married in the Metropole, didn't they?
That's right, the Metropole. But of course, it was wedding breakfast then.
That's right, yeah. Early morning.
You went off. There was no evening weddings. You got married at 7 o'clock in the morning or 7:30.
That's a crazy hour of the day. What in the name of God possessed people to get married at 7:30 in the morning?
Well, you see, there wasn't all. They had small weddings. I mean, people know, I don't know. They did that and they got married, and some people didn't have a breakfast. Well, they would have a breakfast and they'd go off on the train on their honeymoon. When they'd come back, then they'd have a party.
Where'd you go?
We went to Dublin.
For what, a couple of days or a week?
We went for over a week.
See the sights?
Yeah, well, yes. Well, I mean, we had, I mean, I kind of my life now, will I have another Christmas? I had a wonderful life. I had no complaints. I had downs, lots of downs, but you must, downs, you'll have ups, but you must balance it, I suppose, and just cope.
And if you could go back and do anything differently, would you?
No.
Isn't that a great place to be?
Yeah, I would lead the same. It wouldn't worry me. I'd lead, even though it was tough at times, but I'd lead the same life. And with the wisdom of your years, have you any advice to pass on about the things that get them down? Well, you see, I can remember that I'm not a person that get depressed, but I think that I don't. Well, number one, anyway, don't think of your age. Because age is only a number. Valid advice. Yeah. Don't live with your age number. Live with how you feel. Yes, how you feel. And you see, I don't know what I'd say to people, because you see, you can't say anything to people because, well, if they want to do their own thing, they'll do it. Just like today. People will listen and people won't listen. It's wonderful to catch up with you. It really and truly is. These are the conversations that I look forward to. Yours and the next one around the corner. You know, it's fabulous to talk with someone who's got so much to share. I mean, I'm always saying I'll write a book of short stories. What's stopping you? Yes, I might, and you'll be the first to get one. Well, I look forward to it. So as I say, nice talking. And you too, Eileen. Look after yourself and have a great Christmas. When is your 94th birthday? The 1st of December. Oh crikey! It's only a couple of days away. I know. Oh my God! And I'll tell you now. I don't feel a bit of it. Whatever is it? Well, I must make sure to say happy birthday to you on the 1st of December. But wait until I tell you now, Niall. Sometimes I don't feel a bit of it, but sometimes at night, if I wake up, I might get a little nervous about it. Yeah. Why do you think that there's... I don't know. I mean, I like... Not that I have... But the heart is good, as long as the heart keeps pumping. Oh, it is. Everything. It is. I mean, I feel marvellous. My buddy Mary McGrath is 104 years old. Oh, my God. She's flying. Is she like on her... And it's all I want to do is to keep the top drawer. What's that mean? My brain. There's no fear of that. Anyway, listen, there's no fear of that whatsoever. Look after yourself. Have a great Christmas. We'll wish you well on the 1st of December for your 94th. Thank you very much, Niall. Lovely talking to you. And nice talking to you too. Bye, Eileen. Bye now. Eileen. Bye now. Eileen. Bye now.